Hello, my name is Abel Rodriguez, and I am the current chair of the Department of Statistics here at the University of Washington. On behalf of the department, I want to welcome you to our graduation ceremony, where we recognize students who have completed their BS, MS, or PhD degrees since summer 2020. I'm honored to be your host today. If you are following the release of this YouTube event live, you can interact with our guests through Twitter using the handle @UWStat. This has been an extraordinary year for all of us. Remote learning and instruction has been a challenge for everyone involved, staff, faculty, and students. We have mourned the loss of in-person aspects of college experience. However, despite these challenges, this has been a very successful year, and today represents its culmination for our graduates. As we look forward to resuming in-person activities in the autumn, we will remember the lessons we learned this year. This is a great time to be a statistician, whether in industry, academia, government, or nonprofit, non-governmental organizations. Well-paid, intellectually stimulating jobs are plentiful. Ours is a profession that allows us to play in everyone's backyard, like the famous statistician John Tukey once said. This was, in fact, one of the reasons I gravitated towards statistics. In the morning, I can be talking biology to one of my collaborators, while in the afternoon, I may be talking political science to someone else. As you move forward with your career, this flexibility will be a key asset for you. Now, without further ado, let me move on to our three distinguished alumni speakers. The first speaker is Danny Lin. Danny is an entrepreneur and the founder and CEO of Great Wine Inc., the first company to produce wine based on drinkers' wine personality or phenotype. She graduated with a BS in statistics from our department in 2011 and an MS in computational finance and risk management from our sister department of applied mathematics.
Many thanks for that warm welcome. Firstly, let me offer my congratulations to the class of 2021. Thank you to the students, professors, parents, and staff who made these 4 great years everything that they have been. Being here to celebrate with you today is my great honor after graduating from the UW Statistics Department. I still remember the first day when I arrived at UW. I took an early 4-star course for freshmen. I thought I was proficient at mathematics, so I chose statistics instead of writing courses. When Professor Buxton entered the classroom and handed out copies of multiple articles to us, I thought I was in the wrong room because I was expecting problems with calculations and mathematical formulas. Professor subsequently began our first class about why we want to learn statistics and where statistics have been applied. I saw examples in those papers citing how statistics have been applied in so many different fields in industry and in life situations. It is a powerful skill to solve many problems with data evidence backing you up. Indeed, it also offers you a perspective that helps you to see the world in a more logical way, being data informed. In addition, we also learned critical thinking and skeptical reading, not just analyzing and discussing the world, but also using the knowledge of statistics to form a thinking through being data informed to help us make a better decision in situations surrounding study, work, and life. All these have truly shaped my way of seeing the world and the way of thinking in both my work and home lives, which has helped in establishing a powerful foundation to success. After 4 years of practice, you have now earned your degrees, proved your academic abilities. This is particularly important for you in your future work and lives. Indeed, you will continue gathering information as a lifelong learner, and the desire for knowledge from college should stay with you for the rest of your lives, which will help you to succeed in your chosen fields. You may one day forget about the statistical formulas or analysis you conducted in college, but the way of thinking will be with you for life. It will benefit you for a long time. There will be difficulties in work and lives. Just like you may have earned an unexpected bad grade from college, However, life moves on, and one mistake or obstacle will not hurt you that badly, as you will still graduate if you learn from the mistake and keep doing your best afterwards. Never give up. Always keep moving forward. Ask for help when you feel you need it. Do not just keep a problem to yourself. There are many more people you can ever imagine who want to help you, from family, friends, alumni network, and previous schools. Believe that many kind people surround you, and if we all try to do the same to others, we are creating a better world. The classmates you have combined with alumni network are resources that will be with you for a very long time. Reach out when you need to. An opportunity never just comes. If you see it, catch it. If there's not one, create one. Take these experiences with you. Keep close to the students, friends, and professors you have encountered at UW, and do well wherever you go and in whatever you do. Congratulations again to each of you, and may you all succeed in the years ahead.
Thank you, Danny. Our second distinguished alumni speaker is Greg Ridgway. Greg is professor and chair in the Department of Criminology and professor in the Department of Statistics at the University of Pennsylvania. He graduated from our PhD program in 1999, directed the Safety and Justice Research Program at RAND, and was the acting director of the National Institute of Justice, the science agency within the U.S. Department of Justice.
Congratulations to the class of 2021, wherever you are, whenever you're hearing this, and whatever time zone the pandemic might have scattered you to be in. First and foremost, you made a great decision. At some point, you decided to study statistics at the University of Washington. You will find that decision to be one of the most important and wisest decisions in your life. Second, you put in the hard work to study, and with what probably was a mix of smarts and sheer willpower and stubbornness, you completed your degree and are now graduating from UW Statistics. I graduated from UW Stats at the end of the tech bubble of the 1990s. I was worried about graduating at a difficult time. I interviewed with several dot-coms who didn't last long enough to have the chance to even give me an offer. I realized that you too are graduating into a turbulent time, but clearly things are on the upswing. Opportunities might be in places that you were not originally thinking about. In my case, with all the dot-coms going bust, I went to a .org. And that leads me to my unique bit of advice that guided my career. Seek out some statistical vacuums, topics, issues, problems, disciplines that are in need of statistical innovation, but are not getting UW Statistics caliber attention. Healthcare and finance have tremendous gravity and pull in a lot of statistical labor. They're hard to ignore, but that does leave other fields starved for statistical attention. At my .org job at RAND, there was a statistical vacuum in criminal justice research. I stepped into that vacuum as a junior statistician there. A project materialized involving a new gang violence intervention in East Los Angeles. I had about 10 days to work on the project, hardly anything compared to the 100+ days that I was budgeted for on my healthcare patient rehab project, but I went for it because, well, I was it. No other statistician would do it. So I ran the analysis to evaluate the effectiveness of a new program to reduce violence there. And it worked. This is what launched my career as a criminologist statistician. And everything snowballed from there. I next worked on our racial profile analysis in collaboration with the Oakland, California Police Department. And that resulted in what is now known as the Veil of Darkness method, one of the first causal estimates of racial bias in law enforcement. And that method is now used as a standard in several states as part of their reviews of police departments. I ended up working with police departments in Cincinnati, Los Angeles, Tampa, New York, Argentina, Abu Dhabi, all of which had been using their data to address crime problems, but were ready to turn their analysis inward, to be introspective, to explore their own actions on recruiting the right kinds of officers, understanding who's at risk of excessive force, and learning whether what they do makes a difference. I'll give you a brief example. Criminologists have long tried to figure out whether there are particular officer features that put those officers at greater risk of using serious force. Race, age, experience, test scores. But those same scholars struggled with confounding. The younger officers were more likely to be given higher risk assignments. So whenever someone discovered that younger officers were more likely to use force, the findings were called into question. Do younger officers use more force, or are younger officers sent to the places where force is most likely? I first encountered this problem after the Sean Bell shooting in 2006 in New York. This is a problematic shooting involving 50 rounds fired into a vehicle. At that shooting, there were multiple officers of different ages, races, and experience. And I thought, from my UW stats training, right, this is like a matched case control study. All these officers matched on the same scene. Some shoot a lot, some don't. Surely the standard approach must be to study use of force must be a case control study. However, this is one of those statistical vacuums. While in medicine, statisticians go around with case control designs all the time, there were no case control studies of use of force. So I did it. And among other things, I found that officers who rapidly accumulate negative marks in their file were at 3 times the risk of shooting than those who don't have negative marks. And because all the officers in the analysis were on the scene of a police shooting, this result was not due to confounding by assignment. So after 12 years at my .org, I decided to move to a .gov. I ran the National Institute of Justice, the science arm of the U.S. Justice Department, a bit of a scientific vacuum, where I had a staff of 80 people and a budget of $250 million to study crime in the justice system through social science, forensic science, and technology. By this time, as a criminologist statistician, I've been working on policing, public defense, violence prevention, drug policy, illegal gun markets. You will find this to be a wonderful thing about being a statistician. Inevitably, you will get to adopt a second discipline, something that you will become an expert in. So now I've come full circle. I'm back at a .edu. And there are 3 critical ways I'm using statistics now to improve our understanding of crime and improve the justice system. And I tell you these because these are within your reach too. First, I'm trying to help communities improve their justice systems and public safety response. I have a team of 5 researchers studying progressive prosecution in Philadelphia, the effects of diverting arrestees, the effect of no cash bail, race disparities in courts. I also have a team of researchers working with the Philadelphia police on getting better information to officers so they spend more time targeting the right people, like shooters, and fewer random interactions. I also work on a team of researchers who run randomized experiments on the urban landscape in Philadelphia. We green vacant lots and remediate vacant housing, and we're finding that revitalizing a community by cleaning it up has tremendous public safety benefits with no arrests involved. So first, I'm helping communities improve their justice systems. Second, I'm working with governments monitoring local police departments. I work with the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division on analyses of Baltimore Police and Maricopa County Sheriff to make sure they're improving and complying with court-ordered reforms. I work with the Illinois Attorney General's office in their oversight of the Chicago Police Department. And most recently, I'm part of the investigative team analyzing the Minneapolis Police Department following the killing of George Floyd. So the third thing I'm trying to do is train the next generation. I can't keep this up. I can't do all of these projects. There's a demand for more. Criminal justice continues to be a statistical vacuum. We need the next group of data scientists, social scientists, and statisticians to keep up the momentum. So UW statistics equipped you and me with the statistical skills we needed. It's now up to you and me to put those skills into action. For me, it was to go improve public safety in the justice system, to use statistics to monitor police department activities, and now to train the next generation. The life of crime has been good for me, but maybe for you, the vacuum you will find will be the vacuum of space or the pursuit of alternative energy. I certainly don't want to discourage you from exploring healthcare, as there is naturally an invigorated interest in the study of infectious diseases. So go where there is a statistical vacuum. So when you see something you want to change, sure, you can protest, you can write letters, but now you are special. You are statisticians. You can actually do something about it. You will meet a lot of people who do not like statistics, who will tell you it was their worst class, that they know statistics is important, but just don't get it. Sometimes telling someone you're a statistician can be a real conversation killer. But you, on the other hand, you get it, and you can do more. You have knowledge, skills, talents that will allow you to design experiments, acquire and merge data sets, and answer those important questions. So go out, find those statistical vacuums, those problems that are important but uncomfortable, and for some reason have avoided the scrutiny of a UW statistics graduate. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Greg. Last but not least, our third distinguished alumni speaker is Jeffrey Eaton. Jeff is senior lecturer in HIV epidemiology at Imperial College London and an affiliate associate professor of health metrics sciences here at the University of Washington. He graduated from our MS program in 2008, and he also holds a PhD in infectious disease epidemiology from Imperial College London.
Dear UW Statistics Class of 2021, I'm enormously excited to wish you congratulations on your graduation. My name is Jeff Eaton. I graduated from the UW Statistics Master's Program in 2008. After that, I moved to London for a PhD program at Imperial College London in infectious disease epidemiology, where I still am today, now as a senior lecturer in HIV epidemiology. The wonderful thing about studying statistics is the breadth of opportunities that are opened. I imagine that some of you are progressing on in the field of statistical research for further graduate school, postdoctoral positions, or academic positions. Some of you might be pursuing graduate degrees in different disciplines where your statistical training will be a foundational asset, like I did in studying epidemiology. Others may be moving on to be a data scientist at a new startup that is going to conquer renewable energy, or one that's going to make my Netflix recommendations better targeted, which was a saving grace during lockdown over this past year. Some might go to work for a local government using data to serve the communities around us. Most recently, I saw a job advertisement for a senior statistician role at the Inter-American Tuna Commission in San Diego, which I have to say sounded pretty good to me after a long winter in London. I remember that this is what attracted me to study statistics in the first place. I thought it was so exciting how diverse and important the problems were that my professors were working on. Some came from social sciences, modeling networks of human interactions. Some worked on optimizing the design of new drug trials. Some worked on computer image analysis. Some worked on how to detect genetic risk factors for cancer from millions of SNPs. For me, my experiences while I was a statistics student at the University of Washington were formative for what I do today. I was an undergraduate research assistant on a project with Adrian Raftery and Leontine Alkema, a PhD student, on Bayesian inference for the HIV epidemic model used by UNAIDS. My main task on that project was to extract data from PDF reports. This was before the PDF tools R package existed. And I remember that in one meeting I suggested using the arcsine square root transformation because we had learned about it in the regression lecture that day. But today I'm still working on that same model as one of the lead developers. My research group develops mathematical models and statistical tools that are used every year to produce global estimates of HIV burden published by UNAIDS, the World Health Organization, and the Global Burden of Disease Study. And we implement these models in web-based software tools that are used by surveillance experts in national HIV programs across sub-Saharan Africa. These data are used by national HIV programs, the Global Fund for HIV, TB, and Malaria, and the US government's President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief to allocate billions of dollars each year for HIV testing, treatment, and prevention, and to ensure that these programs are delivered to districts and health facilities where they are needed. I love analyzing new data sets and creating new models, but for me, the most fulfilling part of this work is seeing and interacting with the people who use the tools we create. 2020 and 2021 were undoubtedly a unique year to complete your degree. I remember my master's degree as the most academically challenging year of my life. This year, studying from home, teaching via Zoom, doing labs, problem sets, and writing theses remotely, not to mention the other stresses and situations that we've all had to cope with, have only added to that. It has required all of us to be more resourceful and to overcome challenges. On the other hand, thinking back, there were definitely some February mornings that I wouldn't have minded staying in my bedroom, clicking between Zoom links instead of sprinting in the rain between Padelford and the F-Wing in Health Sciences from one lecture to another. In any case, I would like to especially commend you and congratulate you for your achievements this year. I'm sure the shared experience you have had together will bond you together for life, irrespective of where your paths take you next. In closing, I wanted to pass along some of the lessons I've learned about doing statistics along the way since I left UW. The first is to seek out and become obsessed with the outliers, the problem cases, and the data sets where the model doesn't fit or fails to converge. Tenaciously getting to the bottom of these edge cases is where innovation occurs. The second is that statistics is fundamentally a humble discipline. When the statistician has done her or his job well, the headlines we read are "the new data say." The statistical analysis only ever becomes the story when something has gone wrong. The model projections were off, the machine learning algorithm went rogue. A great statistical analysis is sustained effort at every stage of a project, so that at the end of the project, the data speak for themselves. Last, the saying, "success is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration," resonates profoundly. Learn to love the grind and savor the incremental progress, but also be open to the moments of inspiration and follow them where they take you. I can point to 3 to 4 moments when something clicked and set me down a new path for the next 2 to 3 years. 2 final thoughts. First, never use stepwise regression. It's always wrong. And 15 years after learning it, using it, and teaching it, I still think it's magic every time I see the binomial distribution converge to a normal distribution. Congratulations, class of 2021. Let this only be the start of a life of learning, and I look forward to learning about your adventures and achievements to come.
Thank you, Jeff. Hearing from our graduates is always very exciting, and so it is to hear from our graduating class. Next, we will be hearing from 3 graduating students. The first one is Jinsey Pan, who is graduating from our Bachelor's in Statistics program.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, faculty, families, friends, and of course, the graduating class of 2021. I am honored to be a speaker today. My name is Yingxi, and I'm currently in China. I don't know if you still remember me, but we took 340X, 421, and 423 together. I want to give a big congratulations to everyone, including myself, for being here today. Life has been overwhelming since our junior year. You know, the BLM protest, George Floyd, and then of course the COVID. But despite all the odds, we still managed to graduate today. Well, this is a pre-recorded video and might be weird to applause facing a screen, but let's give us a big round of applause in the heart. We deserve this. Although it has been a while, I still remember the Statistics Study Center in the basement of the communication building, right in front of the Padalford Hall. That's where our department is located, on the 3rd floor, right? We always struggled in that little room with our 340X homework. But after last winter, I have never been there again and met nobody from our class. I mean, face to face, not in a Zoom meeting, all because of the pandemics. COVID does change our life a lot. We moved to online classes, wearing masks outside, can't have boba milk tea on the street, and losing the actual ceremony for our graduation. Things were getting tough, I think for all of us, especially for me. As an international student, my family is in China, and most of my friends flew back home around early April last year. So at first, I lived with 3 friends, and then 2, and then just 1 for about half a year. During that time, I had a lot of anxiety and stress, and it might be the same situation for most grads. You know, because we either have to apply for grad schools or find a job, or else we just got unemployed. Nobody wants that, right? But this year, things are so different and difficult. I'm not sure about industries, but the rejection letter from UMich says they only want 20 students out of 850 for the program I applied for. So when I was waiting for my results from grad school, I was too anxious that I even got a stomach problem. Well, one thing I did for stress management is to write down the good things that happened every day. Like the sunset I saw is purple pink, the fireworks set off in downtown Seattle on New Year's Eve. I'm sure there are lots of other ways to ease your mind, but the point I want to make is don't stress out yourself too much, especially in some extreme situations like last year. Because, when you tighten the string too hard, it breaks. It is important to keep it not too tight and not too loose. We have to find that balance. Well, I haven't found the balance yet, but luckily I made some progress last year. I got the offer that I dreamed about. I will pursue my doctoral studies at Columbia this autumn on applied mathematics. By the way, I'm also doing a double major in ACMS. I think the most important reason getting me into this program is my diversity, because I took almost every undergrad math and statistics courses just to explore my interests. Besides classes, I also took part in various research and mentorship programs, for example, focusing on trading strategies or doing pure spectral graph theory and some data science projects. I guess this experience made me stand out from other applicants. So my advice is just to try as much as possible before you really want to settle down. And this is also what I will keep doing in the future. Lastly, I want to give big thanks to Professor Rengini and Milin. Rengini is super helpful and responsible in teaching, and she's also very caring about her students. I still remember the email she sent out last March saying she's willing to take us for a grocery shopping if needed. It means a lot for me, I guess also for other international students. Milin is also very efficient and approachable, either through emails or drop-in sessions. I always got my questions answered in a very short time. Well, I think that's all about it because I only have 5 minutes. So to my fellow grads, I'm not really worried about you. I think we're all gonna be okay because we're young, resilient, especially we have been through this year, and our future is so bright. I mean, we graduated from the statistics major at the University of Washington. The best is yet to come. Congratulations to all of us. Go Huskies.
Thank you, Jinsi. Our second student speaker is Eden Su, who has completed the MS degree in statistics in our department.
Hi, everyone. It's my honor to be here today to give a speech on behalf of master graduates of year 2021. In the special virtual ceremony, it's unfortunate that we're not able to see all the familiar faces of classmates, professors, friends, and families surrounding us when celebrating this achievement of life. However, I think all of us would agree, for the past year of secluded life we live, nothing has not been fixed with a couple of Zoom meetings. Under the extraordinary circumstances of pandemic, we were forced to adapt to online instructions, social distancing, moreover several arrests and instabilities. It was an arduous journey that we have been through. Nonetheless, for the immense support and guidance given by all faculty members and the department, we never felt alone, and we grew more resilient, dedicated, and determined. Many of us would continue our graduate studies in statistics and would strive to make contributions to the discipline as exemplified by our aspiring faculties. Many of us would go to industries to become data scientists, quants, engineers, practicing codes of good data analysis as we learned in the department. And I'm here today to reflect on our experience and express our sincere gratitude to everyone who helped us and guided us through our journey at UW. We wouldn't be here for this achievement without you. We especially thank all the professors who dedicated their time in teaching us the knowledge of statistics. and professors who would make special effort in accommodation to everyone's personal situations, and professors who are always there to answer our questions and help us to figure out the direction to go when we're at crossroads. We will all remember the support from our amazing TAs and fellow senior graduate students whose advice and guidance helped us to make the most of our study here at UW. And we're fortunate to have colleagues coming from a diverse backgrounds of education and culture. We learn from each other, not only in study groups, but also outside of classrooms. At UW, we were introduced to a broad range of topics and cutting-edge research in modern statistics. I can still remember all the insightful conversations with professors in office hours, those inspiring discussions at the geometric data analysis reading groups, and opening up to new things every Friday in the crowded lecture theatre for the departmental seminar. Moreover, the cross-listed courses in biostats, CSSS, and computer science taught us the interdisciplinary nature of the subject and also the importance of collaborations. And most importantly, we're fortunate to have a supportive and inclusive environment and professors and students who made this possible. These have encouraged us to be proactive and exploratory in whichever the goal we aim to pursue. And finally, I would like to use the opportunity to give a personal thanks to Yanqi, who has generously provided me with help and advice, especially during the stressful time of program applications. To friends like Zhaoqi, Yikun, Daniel, Jerry, Yiling, Weijia, who are always there to share their knowledge and sincere thoughts with me. And to professors and colleagues whose names I don't have time to list, but their characters will forever remain a strong influence on me. I believe all of us in the class 2021 will share the same gratitude to what we learned and experienced in the Department of Statistics. And I hope this journey at UW and unforgettable memories will grant us the courage to face whatever difficulties we may encounter in the future. Thank you. And congratulations again to class 2021.
Thank you, Eden. Finally, our third speaker is Johnny Paige, who is graduating from our PhD program.
Hello, everyone. With our noses glued to our books, or perhaps our iPads, over the years of our graduate studies, with the personal trials we faced in our time in this program, or in the middle of a late night, staring at a page of our thesis. It may have been easy to forget why we came here in the first place. In particular, it may have been easy to forget the long journey that led us here, the perseverance it is required, and the goals we set for ourselves before arriving at UW. Let us take a moment to appreciate that person, our prior self, that led us here with their own goals and their own dreams. How many late nights did we need to pull, studying for tests just to get to UW in the first place? How many difficult decisions have we made that could have gone in a number of different directions, yet ended up leading us here? And how did our dreams from when we were just small children evolve, inspiring us along our journey to where we are now and beyond, and to do the work and make the choices necessary to get here, in spite of whatever challenges we faced? Let us also take another moment now to recognize, in self-contemplation rather than egoic indulgence, just how far our journey has taken us, and how much we've accomplished and matured since arriving here. What dreams and drives led us to today? A wise person once told me that the most important quality for someone in academia is not smarts and not even work ethic, but rather perseverance. But our perseverance is, at least in part, a product of our dreams and of our drives. In spite of the COVID-19 epidemic, the political turmoil surrounding us, and our responsibilities, both academic and personal, we completed our coursework and academic requirements, became world experts in our thesis topic, and now here we are graduating from one of the most prestigious and also difficult statistics programs in the world. Now we can even put some extra letters next to our name to prove it. Not that those letters are necessary for us to understand the effort we put in to be here now, of course. We must be able to look beyond ourselves with gratitude for the support given to us along the way. Since each of us may be grateful for different things, I will speak only to what I personally am grateful for. I am grateful for being given the opportunity to learn from some of the top statisticians in the world. I am grateful for the wonderful city of Seattle and all the delicious and diverse foods and events that it has to offer. I am grateful to the other grad students and also my family and friends who have all been extremely supportive and without whom I would not be speaking here today. I am grateful for my late father, stories of whom helped serve as my drive and my dream guiding me here. When we set our goals for the future, I think the following quote by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry may be helpful. If you want to build a ship, don't drum up the men to gather wood, divide the work, and give orders. Instead, teach them to yearn for the vast and endless sea. Let us be cognizant of our drives and our dreams at our core that helped us persevere and get here. Let them give us the courage to set and pursue big goals that motivate us in and of themselves, and to persevere through whatever trials we may meet, and important, big or small, steps we must take along the way. Let us be grateful for our past efforts paving the way towards our future. And let us always be grateful for the support of others, without whom we would be but a fraction of who we are now. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny, and thank you again to all the speakers for their inspiring words. At this point, I will be turning to my colleague Marina Mela, John Wakefield, and Regina Groff for the main event, the presentation of the class.
This is one of the happiest moments for me as graduate program coordinator. It is the moment to present the graduating Doctors of Philosophy in Statistics 2021. They are BRANDEN OLSON STEELE, advised by Eric Madsen; Richard Waugh, advised by Thomas Richardson; Johnny PAIGE, advised by John Wakefield; Pei-Ran Liu, advised by Adrian Raftery; Yan-Di Shen, advised by Feng Han and Daniela Witten; Jessica Goodwin, advised by John Wakefield; Brian Martin, advised by Amy Willis and Daniela Witten; and Hong Jong Si, advised by Feng Han. Your advisors will now say a few words. Jessica Goodwin, advised by John Wakefield.
It's with the greatest pleasure that I congratulate Jessica Goodwin on getting her PhD. Jessica's thesis concerned development of methods for estimating child mortality in low and middle-income countries. In particular, she was a leader of a large group of us at UW and beyond who were producing the United Nations subnational estimates, which appeared for the first time this year. Jessica was always completely on top of this project, which had a huge number of moving parts and had to regularly work with and respond to requests and input from the United Nations. She really cares about the applied aspect And so when we did modelling together, that was always first and foremost in her mind for basically coming up with appropriate methods which could be used by researchers in low middle income countries. Jessica's had to overcome a lot of challenges during her studies, but she's got an incredible combination of toughness and humanity. And I've got a huge amount of respect for her. I really enjoy her company, and she's got very interesting views on many topics. She's got an amazing lust for life, and she's also got an amazing sense of humour. I think one of the reasons we get on so well is that at some level we can identify with each other. Even though we come from different sides of the planet, there are some shared experiences we have, I think, which means we've got quite a lot in common. Actually, I looked it up and we were born around 4,247 miles apart according to the Google. But I'm not sure which coordinate system that number arises from. That's a joke for the GIS people out there. Jessica also has a great passion for music, and we've seen quite a few great shows together. There's one specific memorable occasion at a UN meeting in New York that was a very, very fun evening. So well done, Jessica. I'm so proud of your achievements, and I'll be excited to hang out with you in the future and see what it holds for your career and see how you proceed from here.
Richard Guo, advised by Thomas Richardson.
Hello, I'm Thomas Richardson, and it has been my great honour and privilege to supervise Richard Guo's PhD thesis. Richard's interest and curiosity know no bounds. During his studies, he demonstrated a remarkable ability to make progress on long-standing, open problems in statistics. His thesis considered 4 different problems, all having some connection to statistical causal inference. The first project involved testing marginal versus conditional independence. This is a simple problem to state, but one that is surprisingly subtle owing to the fact that the hypotheses are non-nested. Richard came up with a new approach that provides uniform, asymptotic error guarantees that are rate-free in the sense that they do not require any a priori assumption on the relative strength of the signal to the sample size. As an illustrative example, Richard reanalyzed the classic dataset collected by Blau and Duncan in the 1960s that related to the American occupational structure. Richard's paper has already been published in Biometrica. The second project, which was joint work with Professor Emma Perkovich, involved developing an efficient method for estimating effects in linear causal models. Richard developed a new estimator based on recursive least squares and showed that it achieves the efficiency bound among all estimators based on the sample covariance. He also showed that it dominated various other estimators for this problem that had been proposed by myself and others. In his third project, Richard looked at inference for multinomial parameters. In particular, he developed a new non-asymptotic uniform tail bound on the distribution of the likelihood ratio. These bounds lead to convex confidence regions for the true probability parameter vector. This work has also been published already in IEEE Transactions on Information Theory. The fourth project used the methods developed in the third as the basis for a new approach to inference for discrete instrumental variable models. Analysis of these models is complicated by the fact that they imply inequality constraints on the observed distribution, which must be accounted for in estimation. Richard's approach finesses these issues, thereby completely avoiding the problem of post-selection inference. As you can probably tell, these projects span an unusually broad range of topics. Richard joined our PhD program in September 2017. He had previously obtained his undergraduate degree in computer science from the University of Electronic Science and Technology in Chengdu, Sichuan Province, China, followed by an MSc, also in computer science, from Duke University. Richard will be going on to a postdoctoral position at Stats Lab at the University of Cambridge in the UK starting in the fall. He will also be returning to the West Coast for a semester at the start of 2022, as he has been offered a fellowship by the Symes Institute at Berkeley. I greatly enjoyed working with Richard. Through his research, I gained entirely new perspectives on existing problems. I have no doubt that he will go on to have a very successful academic career. Congratulations, Richard.
Hi, my name is Richard Guo, one of the PhD graduates this year. Given the occasion today, I was asked by Ellen to give some quote-unquote inspirational remarks, though myself at this moment is being locked up in a lousy hotel room in Shanghai for quarantine. What I want to say today, in particular, is that I dearly miss our Pedalford Hall, aka PDL, which houses our department and a few other related or completely unrelated departments. Pedalford Hall has been my home for the past few years, except for the long disruption of COVID, as we all know it. I feel sympathetic to the younger cohorts of this department who have not spent as much time as I have, or even at all, in this building. I am also aware that people have different opinions about this building. Some complain that it's quite too ugly. I have to disagree. At least, it is not one of the ugly structures on the campus. It should be very clear if you just look at the monstrous, brutalist dorm hall right across the street. I have also heard people complain that it is very confusing. I have to disagree also. The next time you ever feel lost at the building, just remember that despite the zigzag through the winds, it is nevertheless linear. As we all know, being linear means being nice. I have particular fond memories of the mathematics library, which conveniently opens right next to my old office at the third floor of the C wing. I spent many good afternoons and evenings working on the wooden surface of the big desk on the second floor, being surrounded by books, tree leaves outside the windows, and hums from the buses pulling into the stop downstairs. To me, it is a place where I can find peace. For those of you who are new to Pedalford, I encourage you to pay a visit to the mathematics library. Well, there is one remaining mystery about the Pedalford Hall that has been bothering me for years. As we know, before the pandemic, the doors at the first floor used to be locked at 5 p.m. on every weekday, so only those with a key could enter the building in the after hours. So the mystery is, how were the doors locked? Is it automatic? Which seems rather unlikely to me, given how the doors and locks look. Then it must have been locked by someone who diligently did the job at 5 p.m. on every workday. Unfortunately, I was never able to meet such a person. I will leave this unsolved mystery to you all. Whoever knows or finds out the answer, please let me know. Finally, I miss Pedalford Hall mostly for its physical and social proximity, for being able to see people and talk to them. I'm pretty sure for those of you who will return to Pedalford, you should feel very excited, whether or not you're a fan of this building as much as I am. So long, and thanks a lot.
Pei Ran Liu, advised by Adrian Raftery.
Hello everybody, I'm Adrian Raftery and I'd like to congratulate all of you who have graduated on a terrific achievement. Particularly, I'd like to congratulate Pei Ran Liu on getting his PhD earlier this year. Pei Ran's dissertation was on Bayesian models in population projections and climate change forecasting. Pei Ran got his BS in mathematics from Peking University in Beijing. He then got an MS in statistics here at UW, and finally has got a PhD in statistics again here at UW. Pei Ran's work was mostly on two general areas, each of which led to two published scientific papers. The first area was on accounting for uncertainty about past values in probabilistic projections of the total fertility rate. And this led to scientific articles in the journals Annals of Applied Statistics and the Journal of Statistical Software. And in this work, Pei Ran developed new methods which are now being adopted by the United Nations as part of the basis for their official population projections for all countries. The second project was on probabilistic forecasting of global warming and quantitative analysis of the effect of the Paris Agreement. And this led to papers in Nature Climate Change and the journal Communications, Earth and Environment. And this work attracted a considerable amount of media attention. Pei Ran has now taken a job as a data scientist at Tower Research, which is a leading hedge fund in New York City. And just on a personal note, I'd like to say it's been an absolute joy to work with BRYAN for the past 6 years. He's been a terrific member of our research group and a great citizen. And I'd like to congratulate him again. And BRYAN, I wish you the very best of luck as you move forward in your career.
First of all, I would like to say thank you to Professor Adrian Raftery. It's such a great honor to be your student, and I have learned so much from your your passion to science, and your warm heart encouraging when I was struggling in this long journey. I will also say thank you to all faculties and staffs of our department. You make me feel that my home is not thousands of miles away. I have been here for 7 years. In 2013, when I first come into the classroom of stats department, I have never imagined that I could have such a long and amazing journey here, and also participating in my commencement twice. There are so many struggles, smiles, and happiness throughout, but after I'm about to leave and looking back the whole process, I would take the 3 following notes away. First and foremost, thinking from data. Throughout my PhD career, and I have also done a lot of interns, I have worked on population projects, climate projects, financial projects, cluster usage projects, and supply chain projects. It seems like whenever we want to use data instead of coin flips to help improving the accuracy of the planning, statistics will be there. This is an era of data, and using them could make us prestigious. Second, thinking like a scientist. Last year, when I was talking to Adrian about my worries about the COVID situation in the United States, he said that in America, we have the top tier scientists in the world, but we also have the most anti-scientist people in the world. And probably that's the reason why we can only have this kind of virtual meetings right now instead of meet everybody in the room. We are scientists. Throughout my PhD, we have learned that we should thinking from a scientific point of view, and when in doubt, search the best paper as a reference to guide us, instead of saying injecting litho to prevent COVID. We know we could find the necessary information to help us in our life, and we don't need to be afraid of new technology. Lastly, be humble and keep learning. Data is not the cure of everything. There will always be the cases where we find that, okay, we are using the data, but we can not using the data to find the solution. We need to rely on others' experiences and their expertise. And even in our field, in data mining and in statistics, we still learn from all other peoples. We are smart people, and we are easier to meet smart people. It would be most likely to be beneficial to meet them and to learn from their experiences. In all, I would say thank you to everyone. It's such a special moment that we can only meet in this way, but it's also such an amazing journey and an amazing place. It's impossible to travel back to Seattle right now, but I hope I could take photos under the cherry blossom in the quad soon.
Brian Martin, advised by Amy Willis and Daniela Witten.
Hi, Brian. Congratulations on your graduation. It has been a pleasure to have had the opportunity to co-chair your dissertation committee with Amy Willis and to see you develop as a statistician during the past few years. I admire your creativity, your passion for applied work, your work ethic, your positive attitude, and the devotion that you've shown to the students whom you've taught as a pre-doctoral instructor. During your PhD, you have forged your own path at the intersection of the issues that you care about, and those efforts have paid off. I have no doubt that when you leave UW Statistics and go out into the world, you'll continue to forge your own path, and I really look forward to seeing where that path takes you.
Hi, Brian. Just a quick note to say it's been a real pleasure to have worked with you over the last 4 years and to have gotten to know you and to see how resilient and hardworking and passionate you are. In that time, you've become internationally recognized for your methods work and for your software. And so a huge congratulations from me for that. I've seen you change the lives of your students and your mentees, both through your classroom teaching and through sort of offline mentoring and professional development that you offer them. That's just an incredible service to your students, but also to the profession. You've been a departmental graduate student representative, providing a lot of advocacy for your peers and shaping the way that we do graduate school admissions. Thank you and congratulations for that. You've been active on our EDI committee, and furthermore, you've every week shown us just how in lab game time, how talented you are at group games. So thank you for your kindness and your grace and for absolutely schooling us in code names and among us. You've got a little bit more work to go, but I know you can do it. You've come so far, and it's been a real pleasure to work with you. So congratulations on everything that you've achieved, and best wishes for your future.
Brandon OLSON STEELE, advised by Eric Madsen.
I feel very lucky to have had Brandon Olson in my group. Brandon was a pleasure to work with. He was creative, independent, and put together a great collection of stat theory and practical skills. But I think the thing that stands out for me about Brandon is how even-keeled he was. In research, things seem good, then bad, and sometimes scary, and often we lose our way. Brandon was always calm, thoughtful, and found a way to move forward despite challenges. I'm especially proud of Brandon's accomplishments given that he's a first-generation college student. Nevertheless, Brandon has done a wonderful job in the academic sphere. Brandon, congratulations on your work and on making your transition into industry. It makes me happy to think of you doing great work back in your home state. Have a great time.
Johnny Page, advised by John Wakefield.
It's a pleasure to congratulate Johnny Page on getting his PhD. Johnny looked at various aspects of spatial modelling of survey data in his PhD, and specifically looked at the impact that ignoring the survey design can have on estimation, and on how the way that aggregation from point to area level can impact that inference. I think this work is going to have quite a lot of long-term implications, and in particular this work has had a direct impact on the official United Estimates of Subnational Child Mortality, which appeared in March of this year. Johnny also proposed and developed a new flexible spatial model with an efficient implementation. When he arrived at my door, Johnny was a very good researcher with a strong knowledge of spatial statistics, but he's reinvented himself and adapted to be a survey spatial statistician, which I found very impressive. As a researcher, I've been continually impressed by Johnny's attention to detail, his computational prowess, and for his deep thinking and real care for what he does. On a personal level, I enjoy our meetings and I enjoy working with him. He's very self-effacing and, as I said, really cares about the research and thinks deeply, which I think is very, very important. He wants to get it right and he cares about the implications for data analysis. He's been a popular member of the Space-Time Analysis BAIGE group, or sometimes called STAB, and I hope he'll continue in that group for a long time to come. A lot of this popularity is due to the fact that he'll always help people out and is very selfless with his time. He's a senior member of that group and has got a lot of knowledge, and he's very willing and happy to share that knowledge. Next up, Johnny's already started a postdoc in Trondheim, Norway, and I very much look forward to seeing how he continues to develop and to see where his research takes him. And I look forward to visiting him in Norway, where I owe him a night out to celebrate getting his thesis. So well done, Johnny, and best wishes for the future.
Yan Di Shen, advised by Feng Han and Daniela Witten.
Hi, Andy. Congratulations on your graduation. It has been a pleasure to have had the opportunity to co-chair your dissertation committee with Feng Han. You joined the stat department saying that you wanted to do applied work, and yet here we are. 5 years later, you're leaving the department as one of the most talented theoretical statisticians I've ever met. I deeply admire your clarity of thought and expression. I can always count on you to give me a crystal clear explanation of whatever you're working on, no matter how theoretical it is. And I really treasured the opportunity to learn from you during the past 5 years, and I hope to continue doing so in the future. You have a very bright career ahead, and I'm looking forward to watching your future successes. Congratulations on your graduation, Yandy.
Hong Jiang-si, advised by Fan Han. Congratulations, Brandon, Johnny, Richard, Peiran, and Yandy, who have already defended, and Jessica, Hongjian, and Brian, who will soon be earning your PhDs as well. Congratulations to your spouses, partners, families, and friends. Congratulations too to your advisors, mentors, teachers, and role models, with whom I share today in the sense of accomplishment of your newly minted PhDs. We teach, we advise, we bring in grants. We love our research, and we will go on doing this in the fall. But we know that the purpose that keeps us alive as a department and a university are our graduates, the graduates who, like you today, leave the university and the department and engage with new goals and new challenges. Your thesis spanned the fields of Bayesian statistics, spatial data, immunology, non-parametric statistics, population statistics, and causality. There are many ways to describe your accomplishments. In the minutes I have left, I will put them into perspective with a few numbers. Between yourselves, you have spent a total of 54 years as graduate students. You have taken about 100 courses, and you have written a total of 64 papers. Numbers only tell part of the story, and these numbers do not tell us how it was like. Numbers only tell part of the story, and these numbers do not tell us how it was like to finish your PhD during a pandemic. The last 12 months have been marked by ever-changing conditions. You have often had to switch to crisis management mode. You had to work without offices, printers, face-to-face interactions, and many other amenities that help one focus on research work. But you succeeded, and you have defended your dissertations, or soon will be. You have achieved a personal dream, and you have earned your belonging into the statistics research community. Your doctorate is part of your greater life story, and the statistics community is part of something larger as well. May this day be an occasion for you to envision what this doctorate means to you, to your life purposes. We, the statistics faculty, your former teachers and mentors, along with your families and loved ones, are eagerly looking forward to the great things that lie in your future. Congratulations and good luck.
Hi, my name is John Wakefield and I'm the Faculty Full-Time Masters Advisor. First, I'd like to congratulate you, all the graduating students. Being accepted into the programme is extremely difficult, as we typically have 350 to 400 applicants, and the programme is very rigorous. So it's very impressive being accepted and to pass all the courses and the exams that we set along the way. We wanted to create a sequence of courses that give a very solid training in theory, methods and applied statistics, but also give the students the flexibility to mould the masters to your own interests, be that machine learning, statistical genetics or demography, to name just 3 specializations. But the ultimate aim is to prepare students to design studies and analyse data in new situations. The courses you've taken will give you the tools and rationale behind those tools for analysing all sorts of weird and wonderful data sets. And we try to balance the courses between the old and the new approaches to statistics so you can deal with the new kinds and volumes of data that are available, while being solid on the basics, either criteria by which methods can be judged, and the age-old concerns of missing data, confounding, selection bias, etc. There is no replacement for experience, and as you continue your careers, you'll be continually faced with types of data and new questions to ask, and you'll have to decide how you're going to answer the questions using parametric or non-parametric methods or frequentist or Bayesian modes of inference, and the kinds of computational tools that you'll use. The serious part is that a statistics degree is a very good option these days because we're in a new age of data collection, and it's being increasingly recognised by industry, government, policymakers and researchers in a variety of disciplines that expertise is required to guide the collection, visualisation and analysis of data. For friends and family of students who are graduating this year, I'd like you to know that, all modesty aside, the students are graduating from a very good department. The department is internationally recognised as a leader in research and teaching, and I believe our master's students are the very best top students on the market. So finally, congratulations again. I'm sorry we can't meet in person this year, but please keep in touch, and I wish you the very best of luck for your future.
Alexander Braxater. 星辰 Elaine 光用处 Yan Ran Chui 宁段 Yu Gu Jun Ming Guan 知宁后 辛风力 Sylvia 殷接力 Yi Yang Li 烧花落 Ames R. Y. Sheng Cecilia 烧川市 Han Lin Song Tim Jai Hui Ji K9 Xu Eden Yi Dan Xu Reed Zhang Wei Jia Zhang.
It is now my great pleasure to present the candidates for the concurrent Masters of Science degree in Statistics. Each of them has earned this degree along with a doctorate in a different field. We call today Weizhong Guo, PhD in Civil Engineering, Yuan Xiao, PhD in Sociology, and Jian Shi, PhD in Mathematics. Congratulations, both from me, who oversaw your unique paths through this program, and from the faculty in statistics, with whom you have engaged in research and classes. We are all enriched by your presence in our programs, and we are proud that you chose statistics to be part of your career.
徽中过 Yuan Shao 张希
Congrats, class of 2021, on this momentous and very hopeful occasion. You have shown much tenacity and courage to get to this point, and I hope you know that this day truly belongs to each and every one of you and your families. I'm very proud of you and what you have accomplished at the University of Washington and in our program. And so without further ado, I would like to present you with your Bachelor of Science in Statistics degrees. Congratulations again.
Howard Beck Yu Fan Jenna Gordon Rose Jing Zhu Ji Min Young Kim Jing Ling Li Sheng Hei Leung Cindy Xin Ji Liang Yu Yao Liu Mickey Ann Liu, Nancy Liu, Qiao Xue Liu, Lucas Kai Zi Lu, Stephen Xie Yao Lu, Claire Law, Nathaniel Markison, In-Si Pan, June Ji Jun Peng, Wen Xuan Qi, Isabel Lai Sei Chao, Zi Xuan Shen, Samantha Shimogawa, Gao Chong Tan, Alexander Thompson, Danielle Viop, Jia Bai Huang, Thomas Chen Shi, Ming Yang Xue, Dan Fang Yang, Vanessa C. Ching Yang, Richie Ray Chi Yu, Colin Jie Lin Zhang, Richard Zhu,
I would like to now present 2 awards for academic excellence. The first award goes to Richie. So here are a couple of words from me about Richie. Richie, I remember noticing you even before you became a stat major, in case you weren't aware, because I was teaching in a room where you were taking math 327. And I remember noticing this one student who always stayed back to talk to the instructor. And well, that student was you. And I want to say that you were picked unanimously by the faculty for this award. You are wise beyond your years. You have an amazing curiosity and a real need to connect the various things that you are taught in order to make a more unified picture. So you're truly one of a kind. And this is a couple of sentences from Professor Marsban. He says, the word unique captures Richie well. When I first met Richie way back in spring of 2019 in Stat 390, that word would have been a polite substitute for really persistent. Then later in Stat 421, that word came to stand for truly creative. And most recently, when Richie was my grader for 390, that word came to include highly intelligent. The only other thing that I would add to those growing descriptions is that it has been a positively unique experience for me to have known Richie. Congratulations, Richie. Our second award for academic excellence goes to Richard. Richard is a very mature and deep thinker. And also what really makes Richard very unique is that he has a very calm demeanor about him as he is trying to think through things. Professor Marsban had this to say about Richard. He said that Stat 421 has been a pleasure to teach because everyone in that class has been exceptionally intelligent and creative. As such, it's not surprising that Richard came to me out of that pool. What did make him stand out was his demeanor. He managed to prove me wrong on many occasions while making the whole experience very pleasant. So yes, he is both truly smart and a master of gentle persuasion. So congratulations to you both, Richie and Richard. It's very well deserved.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes our graduation event. Dear graduates, let me congratulate you again for your success and wish you the best luck in your future endeavors. You embody the future of our profession, and your success is our success. Please remain in touch through social media and or subscribing through the department's newsletter. Finally, I would like to thank our faculty and staff for the hard work that they put into this event. Let them all have the final word.
Huge congrats to the 2021 graduates from the Department of Statistics on a job really well done.
Hello, statistics graduates. Congratulations. I'm so proud and excited for your success and graduation today. I enjoy working with you and knowing you. Please stay in touch with us. Go Huskies.
Hi, statistics graduates. Just want to say a huge congratulations for all of your accomplishments, and I wish you the best of luck in your next adventure.
I want to take a moment to congratulate all the graduates, as well as all of the people who have supported and nurtured and cared for the graduates as they've pursued their academic endeavors. I sincerely hope that you all have an opportunity to pause and to enjoy and celebrate the accomplishments that you've made.
Congratulations, 2021 statistics graduates. Have a wonderful future.
Hey, class 2021, just want to wish you all the best. Congratulations on your success and wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Yay!
Congratulations, statistics bachelor's, master's, and PhD graduates. You have succeeded in these extraordinary times. I wish you every success in your future careers.
Hey all, congratulations on your graduation. I feel really proud of all of you.
Hello. Although I'm not one who gets excited about upholding traditions, but there is one in particular that I do look forward to even, and that's hearing from my past students. So yes, although it's been a tough year, we didn't get to know each other very well, but still, congratulations, but I do hope you'll stay in touch. Congratulations again. Bye.
I'd like to congratulate all of you who have graduated on a terrific achievement.
Congratulations, graduates. You are our future. As I have already told some of you, you need to get involved. You must dare to speak out because what you do matters.
Congratulations to the class of 2021. It's been my pleasure working with many of you as you achieved your degrees, and I wish you all the best in the future wherever it may take you.
We interrupt this program for some breaking news. I've been told that this generation of graduates is the first one in the department's history to complete the entirety of their last year online. They've been through some tough times, but they've been excellent throughout. In all seriousness, though, I just want to say that it's been an absolute pleasure to know you and teach you, hopefully a few things over the past few years. And I wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors. Especially wish you a bright and happy future. And just know that we're all very proud of you here. Back to you.
Dear graduates, congratulations, the world is ahead of you.